What's up, guys? It's Ben in Parts here. Welcome to the latest episode of this CryptidCast series, where we break down cryptids, their sightings, their No, what am I talking about? We break down... This is the Saucercast. I'm quite ill right now. It's a little more low budget than I'd like, because I stupidly made the decision, because I got in bad financial times, to sell my camera, my beloved Sony ZV-1, and I haven't quite saved up enough money to get it back yet, but I will have saved up enough by the 7th of December. So until then, it's kind of more low-tech by comparison. And today we're talking about the Varginha UFO sighting and alleged crash in the middle of Brazil. This is absolutely a fascinating case. Not only is there a UFO crash, but there are allegedly dead aliens into the bargain. So how did this happen? How did this strange encounter happen? Well, around the 13th of January 1996, a pilot by the name of Carlos Souza claimed he saw a strange cigar-shaped object about the size of a school bus fly above the city of Varginha. As he watched, he noticed that this object flying above this southern Brazilian city was losing altitude and appeared to be emitting white smoke. He said he believed it was an aircraft in trouble. He followed its trajectory, arrived in an open field, and there he found metal debris littering the ground, much like Roswell, and the foul stench in the air, quote, like rotten eggs. Many people who have allegedly been around dead aliens and dead alien cover-ups have claimed that they smell like rotten eggs. One source claimed it was because the waste was secreted through the skin as opposed to through an anus, which could explain it. And then he claimed, crucially, the area was swarmed by military personnel who forced him to leave the scene. Now, Brazilian researcher A.J. Gerard, I'm just going to pronounce it Gerard because I'm tired, claims that the Brazilian military was in close touch with the Americans who warned them that a UFO was going to crash in Varginha in the state of Minas Gerais, and that the Brazilian military were already ready, which could explain this. And on the morning of January 20, just before creatures started to be spotted in the city of Varginha, a couple nearby claimed they saw a similar craft flying through the sky. They claimed it looked like it had suffered significant damage to its fuselage, it was cigar-shaped, it was puffing out smoke, and it was headed toward the city. And then, wow did things start to happen. On January 20, 1996, two sisters, Lilian and Valkyria Silva, and their friend Katia Andrade, were walking across a vacant lot in Varginha. Then they suddenly came across a strange creature, crouching in the weeds. It was about 4 feet tall, they said, with massive red eyes, and a disproportionately large head crowned with 3 bumps. They also noticed something strange about the creature, its foul smell. They claimed it appeared sad, and, quote, just as frightened of them as they were of it, and they ran home and told their mother they'd seen the, quote, devil. They described this as black or dark coloured, with 3 black bumps on its head, big red eyes, and like I said, seeming scared, seeming frightened, and seeming terrified. And other people quickly began talking about this too. Residents in the Jardim Andere neighbourhood called emergency services to report a strange animal that had been seen running through the streets. Allegedly, a construction worker claimed he saw the authorities trap the creature inside a wooden box and take it away. And around 1 p.m, others reported seeing military men in uniforms looking for something. Some claimed they heard shots from the men's rifles in the bushes outside of town, well, toward the park area. And 2 hours later was when the Silva sisters and Andrade spotted the other creature. And at roughly 5:30 p.m, a 23-year-old soldier named Marco L. Cereze allegedly caught one of these creatures, grabbing it with his bare hands and ushering it into his car. So it seemed like there were maybe 3 or more of these creatures, and witnesses claimed he then drove the creature to a nearby hospital where it was observed. And allegedly, Dr. Palhares, one of Brazil's most prominent forensic examiners, was one of a team of Brazilians and allegedly several other foreigners who examined these captured creatures. Some were dead, one was allegedly alive, and apparently one of the most remarkable things happened when he pulled out the small black tongue of one of the creatures and it snapped back in like it was rubber. One of the injured ones was making a buzzing noise, the others were dead. One of the injured ones had allegedly been injured because children had thrown stones at it, which is really rather cruel. And then the incident entirely disappeared. The aliens were allegedly flown out to America at the same time as an American military plane was spotted at the airport of the city. As to why residents had seen military vehicles around Varginha at this time, military justice prosecutor Antonio Antero dos Santos claimed it was, quote, all just routine work, and that army trucks had simply left the barracks for, quote, normal maintenance work in a workshop, and that the girls had seen a homeless man by the name of Mudinho, who was dirty, but I think people can tell the difference between a homeless man and a 4-foot-tall cowering alien creature. And then there's the question of what happened to Marco L. Cereze. He was admitted to hospital with paralysis after having taken the creature in. Some people claim he was injured by its claws, and then he died after getting an infection, after being infected allegedly by this scratch, and his body was allegedly, according to his family, buried in a coffin sealed for radiation. They weren't allowed to see it, and it was all hushed up. A.J. Geverard even claims that his offices in the city were bugged, and that any soldier who even discussed him was quickly offered with immediate indefinite detention. So that's the Varginha UFO crash story. Absolutely fascinating stuff. But what are we to make of it? Even though A.J. Geverard is a very well-known Brazilian UFO researcher who interviewed Colonel A.J. Hollander, who headed the Brazilian Operation Saucer, which allegedly found evidence of aliens before his suspicious death. Even though he has a long history of good work, there's no fingerprints, no forensic evidence, no nothing else. However, 60 soldiers and medical workers and other people have come forward alleging that they saw these alien creatures. So it's one of those things that you can't really just dismiss out of hand, because on the one hand there's no direct physical evidence, on the other hand 60 or so people saying the same thing from all different walks of life is no tiny amount of people. So what can we make of this? I personally think it did indeed happen. I think aliens were indeed captured. I think they were indeed secreted away, much as with Roswell, but to America due to a pre-existing agreement between the Brazilians and the Americans. But as to what happened to the remains of the craft and the aliens today, I don't know. But what do you guys think? Were you in Varginha at this time? Did you hear of this incident? Did you witness any of it? Were you one of the military personnel? Please post that in the comment below. That would be amazing to see. And stay tuned for the next episode.